in that little moment between almost death and getting that rep, I feel phenomenally alive. And it's very hard to let that go. Vigorous Steve here with a video I thought I'd never have to make. And yet here we are. I'm going to have to retire from hardcore bodybuilding, but not for the reasons you might think. I did my blood work last Sunday, and all things considering, my blood work actually looks pretty damn good. Some of the markers are off. I mean, let's be honest, I'm using performance-enhancing drugs. This is my current cycle. But considering what I'm running right now, the markers are representative of what I would expect them to be after using these compounds for months on end. My hematocrit is now 53%. Right? I'm using primobolan at 375 milligrams per week. I would expect my hematocrit to be somewhat elevated. My liver enzymes are somewhere towards or slightly over the reference range. Again, I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in the past, which I was able to resolve. I was able to get my liver enzymes down to approximately 15 to 20 units per liter. But now, after a couple months of being back on cycle and raising my training intensity to pretty comparable to where I was before, my liver enzymes have come up. Now, all of my other liver markers are within normal parameters, so there's no real liver issue present, but I will confirm that with a fibro scan at the end of this month when my cycle concludes. My kidney markers are totally fine. My creatinine came up over the last couple of months, obviously, because my muscle mass has increased, and I reintroduced creatine monohydrate into my pre-workout protocol. My cystatin C is nice and low, so don't worry about having any kidney issues. There's no health condition present. My blood work looks fine. I'm sure it will improve going forward. The main reason why I'm stopping hardcore bodybuilding is this terrible brain fog. It's terrible. And I didn't have that when I was running about 286 milligrams of test and primo combined per week, because back then I didn't train so hard. I kind of trained a little bit half-assed, I would say. Now, my half-assed might still be highly intense for you if you were to look at some of the previous Instagram videos or YouTube videos when I was training. And with that, I would say limited intensity a couple months back. But ever since I increased the dose to 600 milligrams in total, I've just been grinding my gears to put these steroids to work. And well, I love training like that. But at this point in time in my business and creeping up to 40 years old, it's not the most productive thing I could be doing right now. So I'm going to dial it back. And dialing back the training intensity also means that I'm going to be basically discontinuing my cycle. Now, I originally intended to come off cycle in March. I have an experiment that I'm running right now. I wanted to trial testosterone versus ecdysterone versus Anavar. So I got about 2 weeks left before I can make my final conclusions and compare these two compounds that potentiate anabolism through the estrogen beta receptor to a very well-known and generally loved oral steroid in form of Anavar, which potentiates effect through the androgen receptor. It's not a fair head-on-head comparison, but when I made that comparison a couple months ago when testosterone first came out, and my wife trialed it, I trialed it, I had a lot of conversation with Derek about how it would compare to an actual anabolic androgenic steroid. We kind of came to the conclusion that about 200 to 300 milligrams of testosterone per day would be similar to running 2.5 to 5 milligrams Anavar per day. So now that I'm back on cycle, I want to validate that statement again with blood work and see how much of an efficacy these compounds have when you're using a real anabolic androgenic steroids. So I will conclude that experiment. I will not train as insane as I've been doing for the last couple of months. Again, running a little bit higher dose than TRT plus, I would say. And when that experiment is concluded, I'm coming off. It's that simple. And until that time, I'm not going to train insane because I'm basically training myself stupid. And I already alluded this on the Bio Bros podcast that I felt like this for the last couple of weeks, that it's getting harder to focus and my sleep quality is going down. Again, I moved my training to the evening because I want to be as productive as I can be for the sake of this YouTube channel and client work and maybe writing articles and trying to find some time to finish those ebooks, which unfortunately I still didn't have adequate time to really sit down and write those ebooks and conclude all of the ebooks that I still want to publish. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to put this hardcore bodybuilding in the back seat and really focus more of my attention on business. After I moved my training to the evening, of course, I still train balls to the walls, right? I did that in the past. I got my whole pre-workout ritual set up. And even though some of the pre-workout drugs are not really in place, I still train as hard and as insane as I want to train. Obviously, that's too much. Otherwise, that wouldn't go over to the next day and sometimes even the day after. I mean, I would train usually legs on a Tuesday evening. That night, I find it hard to sleep, albeit that I would still get 6 hours, maybe 7 hours of sleep in. And then Wednesday, I would be fucked the whole day. I try to make videos. I can't get through them. I try to make 2 videos. That would be an impossible task. And it's just 2 videos a day that sets you apart on the YouTube algorithm from everybody else. So I've been trying to make videos for the last couple of months. And I get maybe 3 or 4 videos out per week. Right? Sometimes I sit here recording and nothing useful comes out. Or at least I don't feel comfortable releasing that video because it's kind of messy and sloppy and it doesn't really flow nice. And now, look at me now. I took a week off. And yesterday I kind of trained half-assed. And I'm doing way better than I did before. So again, hardcore bodybuilding is going to have to move to the wayside so I can focus on my business. Try to make 2 videos per day so I can grow my channel at a comparable subscriber count as where Leo is right now. I mean, he's got double the subscribers, but we pretty much started at the same time. He's been very diligent on his YouTube channel, trying to make 2 videos per day at the same pace that Derek was making 2 videos per day. And look at his subscriber count just mooning as we speak. And I've been sitting here brain fogged. And it doesn't matter how much cerebral lysin or Semax, or Selank, or Bromantine, or Modafinil, Dihexa, man. I experimented with everything. And the only solution that I have going forward is just training like a gym rat. You know what's funny? I made several videos about this, like before I started my cycle, right? Train like a gym rat to stay productive and cognitive. And then you slowly get back into that old rhythm. And it feels also good, man. When I'm in the gym, and I'm putting up another plate on the machine or on the free weight or whatever, that's bliss for me. I fucking love it, guys. I love training like this. I've been training like this since I was 15 years old, and somebody gave me that Blood and Guts VHS, right, from Dorian Yates, a VHS, a couple times dubbed over, so it's black and white with all those, static lines. That's how I got introduced to bodybuilding. I haven't trained any way different with a couple modifications, but still following progressive overload since then. So that's 23 years with maybe a year break for traveling. So let's say over 20 years of training that intense, progressive overload, training to failure, training beyond failure, forced reps, grinding my teeth. I'm at a point where I just can't afford to do that anymore because my body is not recovering. My brain, all this neuroinflammation that I'm accumulating over the weeks that I'm training this intense, is finally catching up with me. And I was just making a video about how to protect your brain while you're using performance-enhancing drugs. And I start to make my notes, and I go through the literature, and I just piece it all together. It's not good for me. And that's very fucking hard, guys. It's very fucking hard. So I'm announcing it to you guys. So I know I just started that new workout clips channel, right? Vigorous to the max. And I will still upload there for a good sets that I have, but the intensity will probably not be there. And I'm probably not going to bring my heavy metal music, right? My death metal just screaming in my ear and getting those gnarly sets in where you feel absolutely fucking alive in that little moment where you're taking your last set or your last rep of that set to absolute failure and the weight is moving. The weight is moving. You're not stuck. And even if the weight is moving very, very slowly and it's still moving, that moment, I feel the most alive ever in my life. In that little moment between almost death and getting that rep, I feel phenomenally alive. And it's very hard to let that go. That's why I slowly over the last couple of months have been kind of, slowly building up to that moment. In that last little rep, I find the meaning of life. As silly as it sounds. So I'm going to push that all away. I want to give a huge shout out to Star Wars Theory, who recently started following me on Instagram. I'm sure you guys are all familiar. If you like Star Wars, I'm sure you know the YouTube channel Star Wars Theory. So he started following me on Instagram, followed him back, obviously. I've been subscribed to his YouTube channel for a minute now, because I like to keep up to date with The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. And then I saw that he started going back to the gym. He literally gave up training. He used to be a strongman powerlifter. The guy literally gave up training so he could focus on his YouTube channel. And look at the guy, 3.2 million subscribers. 3.2 million subscribers. And here I am stuck trying to get 50,000 through my own doing because I'm just too lethargic, too tired to crank out multiple videos per day. So again, this is not the end, obviously, because if Star Wars Theory is going back to the gym and cranking out squats with 400 pounds after getting up to 3 million plus subscribers on YouTube, then maybe when I get back to that point, I will pick up some weights and take those sets to failure and beyond. So this is basically my official announcement that I'm retiring from hardcore bodybuilding. The reason why I'm putting it out there is so I can't go back on my words. Right? If you see me training too intense on Instagram, please, guys, please, I'm begging you, just remind me, Steve, you're taking this shit too far. Just say it like that or something along those lines. I'll know to take it down a notch again. It's very easy to get back into that old routine. But again, I don't make money with this physique. I love training, absolutely. I love training with a little bit of TRT when I'm off cycle and obviously when I'm blasting my socks off. Not that I'm doing that right now, but I certainly did that in the past with 2 grams of gear, whether that's test or a combination of a multitude of compounds, right? The announcement is here now. I'm sorry if I can't stimulate your training ambitions with my workout clips. I will not stop bodybuilding. I will still go to the gym. I will still train intense, but not to the point I get brain fog or need to use milliliters of cerebral lysin and other nootropics just to keep me going throughout the day, right? That's not very sustainable either. I'll follow the diet. I will keep producing content for this YouTube channel from a context of bodybuilding, performance enhancing, whether that's the drugs, the nutrition, the over-the-counter supplementation, and everything else that we do in the fitness space. I will continue along that trajectory. But if I'm slowly deteriorating my physique again, just be nice. The bodybuilding will still be there, but the training intensity will come down to the point I can focus on my business and produce content for you guys. So I can transfer my knowledge to you so you can have a head start I didn't have after 23 years of trying to piece this shit together. I think I can piece it together for you a lot faster than I had to undergo myself. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of your support, especially over the last couple of months when you were so encouraging that, you know, I was training this intense and all that kind of stuff, right? I really appreciate it. But the moment has come for me to step back from all of that. Again, please let me know if you feel that I'm pushing boundaries a little bit too much on those working sets. Right? You can show me some love and appreciation back. So Steve, we'd rather have you make YouTube videos instead of taking these crazy sets to failure and beyond. Because, well, let's be honest, I'm not going to save this planet or change the fitness industry by doing crazy heavy sets. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're looking for the most comprehensive guides to bodybuilding pharmacology, you can find the ebooks on my website, vigorsteve.com/shop. I'm always available for consultations. I've always been very, very cognitive and time attentive for those consultations. So don't worry. Those will never, ever go away. And, well, judging from all the people that have recurring consultations, I think I'm doing a pretty good damn job. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at VigorSteve. Feel free to subscribe to the probably defunct new workout clips channel called Vigorous to the Max. Link down below. Oh, front double bicep for the Vigorous crew. Well, this still remains. Might be a little bit less impressive going forward, but while the cannons are still there, I'm going to flex them. Vigorous crew, much appreciated, much love. You guys know what to do, and I'll see you in the next video.